Hello and welcome to another episode of Rico'S Rants. I'm your host, Rico DeGiorgio. Alright, it's time. It's time for another video. I saw a new movie tonight, and one I've been wanting to see for a while, and I got to go with my friend tonight. War for the Planet of the Apes. Alright, let's do this. So, where do I start? First off, I have to give you a bit of a rundown of my feelings about the other two, well, ultimately the Apes movies. Now, full disclosure, spoiler alert for the original, for the rebooted Planet of the Apes films, the good ones, that I think. To be fair, the only Apes movies I've seen are these three new ones. Rise, Dawn, and War. And Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes. So, I definitely admit I have not seen the Planet of the Apes show as well as the original films. So, but shit, now I'm interested. When I saw Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I think it came out in 2011. I was actually really, really surprised how much I loved it. Because I hadn't seen the other Apes movies except for Tim Burton's terrible Planet of the Apes adaptation. That was just terrible. And I remember seeing that one when I was a kid and being like, this sucks. I was a big Tim Burton fan. I was like, this is just not good. I remember watching it and being like, the ending especially, I was like, what? What? It's so confusing. And fucking Marky Mark is going, what? No. So, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. When I first saw it, I was very surprised. I thought, Andy Serkis especially, this motherfucker needs to win an Oscar. It is astounding to me that he cannot fall in the category of Best Actor or Best Supporting Actor when he's doing motion capture, because they just won't allow it. On one hand, I think the Academy knows that they made a Best Motion Capture Actor category, he would win every single fucking time. Because, really, not too many... there are motion capture actors, but he's sort of the one who's making it popular. Ever since Gollum and now Caesar. Not to mention him playing fucking Snoke, and I think he was the first King Kong. Well, not the first, but he was the previous King Kong in Peter Jackson's King Kong. And again, I'm not overly fond of Gorilla Ape movies, but I thought he was great in that movie. I thought that was an impressive film. But I saw the new one. I've been on this ape simian craze, apparently. I saw Kong Skull Island, and I'll talk about that at some point. That was fucking great. So, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Andy Serkis is just phenomenal. And one thing that's cool is it's set in the Bay Area. It's set in San Francisco. Sort of. Well, it's the Bay Area. Which, being from the Bay Area, we don't... A lot of movies are set in New York or LA or... it's nice to see your sort of area, your Bay Area, represented. So I appreciate that. But I was more floored with, again, spoilers. The whole movie itself was very good. John Lithgow is always charming. James Franco actually kind of... He can be good, he can be bad. I reviewed 127 hours, and I thought he was phenomenal in that. But he tends to play a lot of douchey characters. He was good in this one. I thought he was good. He certainly came off like a young guy who was sort of just thrust into raising an ape, even though he didn't want to. He didn't have so much a douche. He came off loving in that movie. Brian Cox and Tom Felton were great as human antagonists, and honestly, the film it finally reached a moment for me. And if you saw Rise of the Planet of the Apes, you know that moment. That's when Caesar, Andy Serkis' chimp character, bellows out "No" at the top of his lungs. And it's the first time we ever hear him speak. And when I saw it in theaters, the entire audience was just silent. We were just, what? And then, like, I mean, that set the staple of just like, oh, they're gonna surprise us. And I was very pleasantly surprised. I remember walking out of that movie with a girl I was dating, and I was like, I fucking love that movie. Weird coincidence, not really, but my mother had given me these shoes that were basically like bare feet shoes. Basically, they were shaped like your foot. I wore them because she's like, here, try these on, walk around these. And I went and saw Planet of the Apes with that, so I kind of felt like I was walking around like an ape. When it was very bizarre. I'm like, what are the fucking odds that I'm wearing these stupid ape shoes and I'm going to see, an Apes movie? So Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I thought was great. I personally like that one a whole lot. The second one, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, I thought that was very good. But I also felt like they had the human antagonist of that one, Gary Oldman, who I'm a big fan of, I thought was underused. I thought he, was sort of I don't know, they didn't use him properly. I don't know. I just felt like he kind of was boring. It was a very generic role. I was always expecting some form of excitement from Gary Oldman. But the main antagonist of Dawn Planet of the Apes is, and I'm blanking on his fucking name, the guy who played was a friend of Caesar named Koba. And he, like Caesar, was experimented on and given a serum and all that shit, and he became super smart. But he was experimented on way too much and had a huge grudge against humans. Whereas Caesar was like, apes are important, apes are family. He was raised by a human, a very loving human. So he respected certain humans, whereas Koba disregarded and was very malicious against humans. And in Dawn, they fight each other, and Koba essentially starts the war for the Planet of the Apes. I mean, he attacked a bunch of humans, and that's what sparked the whole thing. So of course Caesar is blamed for that because they didn't know it was Koba. They thought it was Caesar giving orders. Koba dies at the end of Dawn, although I heard during the credits you could hear Koba breathing towards the end. So that was the filmmakers, I guess Matt Reeves, leaving the option open. So a lot of fans, including myself, were thinking, maybe Koba comes back. And he does. Kinda. So, got 1 and 2 down. Let's talk about 3. War for the Planet of the Apes. First off, the runtime is about 2 to 2.5 hours. But it feels longer. And it's not a bad criticism, because I was talking to this with Michael, the guy who saw it with me, and we were like, wow, it felt like a long movie, but because there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of scenes where they drag out a lot of feelings and emotion and heartfelt speeches and monologues, but there's some action, but they dragged everything out. But I was so into the film, I didn't care. If this was a boring movie or a movie that just was generic, I would have felt like, oh fuck, it's 2 hours, let's go. But I was like, oh shit, that was 2 hours. That's crazy. So movie starts with about they had an opening text which explained the first 2 movies as well as this one, and it said 15 years after the end of Rise. So at this point, almost the world, human-wise, has been annihilated from the simian virus, or the simian flu. And the apes and the other primates had developed their intelligence and ability to speak and communicate and just become smarter. And so they're not Planet of the Apes running cities and shit. They're still living in the woods, but they're developing huts. They're developing spears. They have guns that they've taken from the military from the previous film. So they're hunting, and we saw that in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I think they hunt a bear at one point. And Caesar is visibly older. First film, he's young. He's about 20 years old. In Rise of the Planet of the Apes, he's 20 years old. He's probably about 30 to he's 40 years old. So about 35. But he looks aged. He's got a lot of white hair around his. Would you call it a beard if he's covered in hair? I mean, it's like saying Chewbacca having a beard. He's all fucking beard. He's all chest hair. He's all back hair. He's all hair. So same with an ape. I mean, he doesn't have a goatee like I do. That'd be fucking weird. You see a ape with a goatee. Anyways, they kind of have a reverse goatee. They have all the hair except for on the face. But he has a beard, which is, hi Dino. Speaking of hairy motherfuckers, Dino. Alright, so, sorry about trailing about his fucking hair. He visually looks aged. Like he has gone through so much stress in the 3 films that he goes from black to a little bit of strands of white to just like lots of streaks of white. From the first 3 films, just stressed out. But he seems overall happy. He has, a wife, Cornelia. Are you fucking serious? I feel like I'm sitting in front of Pride Rock. Anyways, his wife Cornelia, and he has a son named Blue Eyes. And then a young, cute little fucking tiny little ape named Cornelius. Now, again, I had not seen the other movies, and even my brother kind of spoiled this for me. But he was like, I hadn't seen the movies either. He said Cornelius is the main character in the original Planet of the Apes movies. So clearly they're setting it up. And I think, after doing a little bit of trivia, looking up, Cornelius in the movies has a son named Caesar. So we find out, essentially, he named his son after this Caesar, his father. But that's all fucking secondary back shit. So overall, he's family. And a army troop comes upon them and attacks them, and they retaliate. But all the survivors, they let go. He says, I did not start this war. And Caesar is talking perfectly. Like, for the first film, Andy Serkis is growling and roaring, and apart from one word, no. And then he says to James Franco, Caesar is home. But he says it very clipped and very slow and gruff. And then in Dawn, he's able to say full sentences, but he still has a lot of Koba is not good ape. Like, it's very clipped. This one, he's just talking. It's like Andy Serkis is like, fuck that. I'm going to not fuck up my voice. He's like, Koba, we did not start this war. I mean, it's not as fast, but it's very clear. And it's hypnotic. I mean, Andy Serkis is such a great actor. Honestly, I've said this to many times. I would watch all these movies with him in the motion capture suit, because you can see footage, especially in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, where he is in the motion capture suit doing the facial expressions, doing the monkey shit, like doing that shit, and you believe it. He's a fucking he's a chameleon as a fucking ape. It's amazing, and he is phenomenal in this. So they get attacked, and he lets the survivors go. He says, I didn't start this war. Another ape started this war. I killed him. Go tell your fucking colonel. Send a message. Leave us the forest. Don't come back. We want peace. Leave us alone. So they go back, and then later, they get attacked again. And Caesar runs off to go find out what's happening. Comes back to find his wife, Cornelia, and his son, Blue Eyes, killed. The colonel, and we hear the colonel over a walkie-talkie a couple times, but then he's standing amidst the waterfall, and he had just killed Cornelia and Bright Eyes. He thought Blue Eyes was Caesar, and all of a sudden Caesar's standing there, just seeing what just happened, and the colonel turns, and he's in Black Ops type. He's got black fucking paint on his face. Turns, and it's Woody fucking Harrelson. And we knew Woody Harrelson's going to be in this movie, but fuck, if Woody Harrelson's not intimidating in this movie, I don't know what the fuck he is. He's crazy. He's calculated. He's got a fucking crazy look in his eye. And there's a lot of scenes where he's wearing sunglasses, but like when he takes them off, you are staring at this intensity. Just like there's a lot of square offs between him and Caesar, and they don't give him his name. They just the colonel. So now this is a revenge thrill. This is a revenge film. It's simple. He killed my family. I'm going to get him. Blah blah blah. So on top of that, you find out I won't spoil everything. You find out some characters, humans, due to mutation of the simian virus, the survivor human race is developing a genetic disorder where they can no longer speak, and it's making them primal. Essentially, the simian virus made apes like humans, and the humans like apes. So I guess that's a precursor to Planet of the Apes, where humans are primal and can't talk. I guess that's the whole thing. Like Charlton Heston, speaking like, "Get your damn paws off me, you damn dirty ape!" That whole fucking thing. And they said, "Oh my god, he could speak. He could speak." That's apparently where this originates. Fuck, I really need to see the original series now. I think I may. Well, I work at a video store. I might as well. So that there is. When I said Koba comes back. He comes back in hallucinations. Hallucinations. Sorry, it's fucking 4 in the morning. I must be tired. Hallucinations. And he kind of taunts Toby Kebbell. I think that's his fucking name. He's the guy from Rock'n'Rolla who plays like the Rock'n'Rolla. Anyways, that's his fucking name. He comes back and he taunts him a couple times, which of course is perfect in the film. Setting wise, scenery is amazing. It's filmed in a lot of snow, so it's really bizarre as a concept to see apes on horseback in the snow. The fuck? But it works. It's beautifully shot, and I did some trivia lookup, and they said they prepared by getting inspired by a ton of films. One of them being Empire Strikes Back, and this whole you could just see the whole Hoth inspiration. It's just snow and pure, and when something bleeds in the snow, and there's nothing more red than red on white. There's another actor, Steve. I didn't know this, but Steve Zahn, who's sort of a mostly comedic actor. He plays another ape named Bad Ape, and I honestly, my only criticism is like I kept thinking this guy is the Jar Jar of the Apes movies. He came off very annoying, very comical, but like really kind of forced. He just wasn't funny that much. There was a couple times where I did laugh, but it wasn't so much him being funny. It was him, like the situation made it funny. Like he fell down through someone else making him fall down. Like it wasn't him being a klutz. It was like circumstances made it. I don't know. That was my only like, oh God, I want this fucking bad ape to shut the fuck up. That's how I felt. Another highlight is the character Maurice, and I don't know who plays Maurice. It's very much I think it's a stunt actor, but whoever plays Maurice, the giant fucking orangutan, whatever the fuck he is very captivating. And that's the thing, this movie is so astounding, is you're looking at apes that look like apes, but you see this emotion and range in their eyes, and it's kind of frightening, but it's you can't take your eyes off it. I mean, admit, if you saw Caesar walking up towards you, what the fuck? And especially if he spoke. And he speaks a lot in this movie. But I fucking loved this film. My only complaint, and this is my complaint for the other film, is the titles. The titles I felt like were too long. You know, instead of Rise of the Planet of the twice really kind of bothers me. Rise of the Apes. That's what I would have done. Dawn of the Apes. I kept referring to this movie to my friend as War of the Apes. But War for the Planet of the Apes, I guess, makes more sense. It's just still a long title. But Matt Reeves did a fantastic job. And I'd been following Matt Reeves a little bit. I was impressed with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Hadn't seen a whole lot of his other films, or at least not been aware of it. But now he's going to do the Batman movies, and fuck, I'm actually like, I'm looking forward to it now. Before I was like, Ben Affleck directing Batman, that's a great idea. Now I'm like, Matt Reeves can do it. I'm ready. I'm ready for Bat Reeves. Let's do this. Matt Reeves. I don't know. So easily, the trilogy that this is now, Rise, Dawn, and War, I'd give it 5 stars. I have rewatched the first 2 movies many times. I will definitely get this movie when it comes out on DVD and perfectly line them up together and be proud of it and watch this one again and again. Woody Harrelson again is terrifying. There's many good scenes between the two of him and Caesar. The directing was great. Music was very good as well. Editing was very good. I mean, like I said, it very much had a long, stretched out pace. But for this film, it works very well. So, that in mind, I'm going to end the video. Definitely go out and see it. This is definitely, go out and see it. This is a theater-type movie. It does not do you a disservice to watch on your fucking tablet. You need to go out and see this movie. I would definitely wholeheartedly believe it. I'd give the whole trilogy 5 stars. Loved it. Loved them all. Even with James Franco. Alright, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and share. And let me know what you guys thought. Did you guys watch the movie? Did you guys like the movie? If you didn't like the movie, tell me why. Alright, guys. Love you. Ciao.